What's going on? Oh,
Now
there we
we
are.
are,
We're live.
Ken. We're live.
We're live.
Wait,
We
let me
are
check
live.
live. How
Ken
in
Walls
the heck are you?
and Mr. Glenn Morshower. Dude, you're a movie star.
Ken Walls right there.
You hate that, I heard.
The term movie star? Yeah, that's true. I'm not a fan.
You hate being called a movie
No,
star.
I don't, because it lends itself to having it sounds like you're in love with yourself. If you're a
Well,
movie star, like look at the little movie star. And I hated when I first moved to Los Angeles, and all these people back here in Texas were like, "Oh, there's Hollywood. Hey, Hollywood's back in town. Y'all see Hollywood? Hollywood."
hey, there's there's Ernest. Hollywood's back in town.
Hollywood's back in town.
I was just telling you about Ernest Odell over there in Lubbock, Texas. Oh, hold on.
It was Ernest our first. Ernest is, he would have made a great paramedic because he's always first on the scene.
I know.
You know,
Ernest, I told Ernest, dude, Ernest is the only human being on this entire planet besides you, me, and Scott that has our coffee mug.
beautiful.
He won it. And listen, nobody even knew there was a contest. Man, I got to do something about my lighting. I'm going to disappear again for a second. So,
So it's now the Glenn Show.
it will be for a minute.
Hello, there's Bob Donnell. Hello, Bob.
Bob Donnell, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
And our
Dan
brother
Keller.
Robert Brooker.
This is gonna
Dan,
freeze me
good
up.
evening
I
to
know
you.
it is. Hang on a minute.
And here comes the Friday night fam. Here comes the fam. Hey, how are you guys tonight on this beautiful Friday evening? I'm chilling like a villain in Dallas, Texas, where it's a beautiful evening. Went out and accepted a neighbor's invitation to sit out in their front lawn, honoring social distancing. And we had our lawn chairs, and everyone was a safe distance from each other, and we had a lovely time.
So, man, I don't know if I fixed my settings or not. This is insane. Bob, this platform is called GetStreamYard.com. GetStreamYard.com. Ernest, thank you so much. Kyle, yes, it did snow here in Ohio.
Did it snow in Marion?
I don't know. I didn't see any. It's 94 in Tampa. That's nice, wow. Dan. Thanks for stopping by, Dan. Appreciate you.
It snowed here in Dallas a couple of months ago, but then I got some dandruff shampoo and put an end to it.
Oh my God. So we were talking about you being a movie star.
And I was stopping talking about it because
how much you love
a terribly interesting subject. There's Bob. He posted GetStreamYard.com.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, GetStreamYard.com. That is my affiliate link. I own that domain. I bought. I didn't believe it was available.
You know, the term, Ken, if I can just be honest so that we can move through this and get on to other subjects. It's a term I don't care for because I love my craft. I love what I do for a living, but it is a title that either brings people closer or alienates. One of the two, and it's never any middle ground ever. And I have to say it probably alienates more than it draws people in.
But let me ask you a question. Have you ever, were you in the movie Black Hawk Down?
You know the answer to that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How about Air Force One? Were you in that one?
Yes.
Transformers.
Yes, sir.
How about
is this the whole show?
Charlie Mopic?
Is this tonight's show? What was the one you did?
How about 84 Charlie Mopic?
Yes, and like 8 people nationwide saw that film. No, the truth is, hey, can I tell you a little something about that movie? I don't know if you've ever seen it, but Siskel and Ebert back in the day, and yes, I am old enough to use the expression back in the day. Siskel and Ebert said it was the best Vietnam film ever made. And
Look at all these titles.
Their review was incredible.
Really?
Incredible. And honestly, I think I wet myself in my New York hotel room because I was there alone I was there alone by myself, which is what alone means, by the way. And by the way, Lansing is the capital of Michigan, and
it is.
Condescending means to talk down to people. So I was alone in the hotel room, and all of a sudden, Siskel and Ebert come on. Well, it was the opening weekend for our film. This was 1989, in the spring of 89. And they said, coming up, our review of an exciting new Vietnam War film called 84 Charlie Mopic. We'll be back after these words. And they broke for commercial. Man, my heart started racing. I called my parents from an actual phone, not a cell phone, but, a phone in the hotel room, and said, turn on your TVs right now. Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel are reviewing the film. And when they came back, just a few minutes into the review, I heard Roger Ebert say my name. And I want to tell you, I actually believe that in the course of our lives, we have several times that I would label great times to have died. And that would have been one of the great times to die. When Roger Ebert said, watch for two performances, Richard Brooks and Glenn Morshower, and you will be moved deeply to your core. And I just went,
wow.
Because there was no one in the room to share it with. But of course, my folks and other family members were watching back in Texas. Oh, you have a clip. You have a clip.
Of course I have a clip.
Well, that's me at age 29, 32 years ago this month.
Your face is a little dirty in this.
Yeah, well, we were a 7-man recon team journeying through the Central Highlands of Vietnam in 1969. Can you play that? Is that a playable?
I can, yeah.
It might be interesting for people that want to see it. You can see it online for free. Let me say that again, Ken, for free.
It is. It's free. It's on YouTube for free.
Thank you, Dan. That's a nice thing to say. Dan said, I love your work. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah,
I missed that, and I just looked over in the chat. Thank you.
Didn't I put that up on the screen?
You probably did, and I was busy in a self-absorbed moment and missed it. My apologies.
Oh my God! All right, so let's show them a little bit of this. Let's show them. Hang on, I'm going full screen, so y'all hang on for the ride. I'm gonna back it up here because I was already playing. This is a monologue.
That is a monologue, yes,
that Glenn did. Let me get it right here.
That's it.
And here we go. Little monologue.
What they call us hillbilly.
You going full screen, baby?
We ain't.
I did, didn't I?
Oh, okay.
No, the dictionary says a hillbilly is a Michigan farmer.
I think you can still slide over and go bigger screen, or can
Nope.
No.
I got
Nope.
kids myself. Yeah. 2 boys and 2 girls last time I checked. My oldest one made this for me.
I remember every word of this monologue.
Give me an education. I got my GED.
The volume is so low on this, though.
Black people, Puerto Ricans that don't even speak English.
Like, I can't.
Did you do your volume share?
Yeah.
I could get to be a first sergeant or a warrant officer.
Oh man, it's listen. I don't want to like. It is It's on. I can't hear it, so it's on YouTube.
They can hear this. I'm going to give them the next 30 seconds of that. You ready?
Go.
All these years later, 32 years later, I could get to be a first sergeant or a warrant officer, and I mean, it's pretty good money. And he says, "Do you figure?" This is an interview. He says, "Do you figure what you're doing out here is right?" I say, "Oh hell, I don't figure right or wrong about it. People like me just go day to day, spend our time trying to figure out how to get food on the table. That's about it." You know, my daddy was about the best cabinet maker you ever saw. Now, he didn't get a lot of work because of his hands. They was all twisted up by that damned arthritis. But, man, when he made something, a cabinet or a three-legged stool, it was the best damn three-legged stool he could make. And he taught the same to me. You're supposed to do your job the best you can, no matter you like it or not. Once I remember he was making this black oak china cabinet, black oak. And when the lady it was for said that he should paint it white to match her floorboard trim, oh, he painted it white. And I mean, it was beautiful black oak too, grain like running water. And he painted it the smoothest, cleanest white you ever saw. God, milk ain't that white. But you do your job. Let the right or wrong to others. He'll earn you pay. OD feels the same way, and that's why him and me are like this. Of course, that's me on top. That's it. That's a little treat from 1988. And we tend to remember
33 years ago.
Yeah, 32. This month it's 32 years ago.
Wow.
But we do remember those things, especially if it's a cherishable moment in your career. Hey, what do people want to talk about tonight? Ken, what do you want to talk about tonight, brother?
Scott says, wow. Hey, first, I want to finish with the movie star thing. That's what I want to talk about.
I also want to finish with it. Like, finish with it.
But I'm
going to stopping by, Ken.
No. I'm back. So look, I'm gonna coach you live on the air right now. I'm gonna help you with this.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with being a movie star, dude.
I don't like the word. It's not being an actor, sure, that makes movies or that does television. That's fine. But movie star. Look at the little movie star. Don't we have a special car for the movie star? Seems like the movie star deserves his own special car. Don't we have a luxurious 5-star hotel room for the movie star? Where should you sit? Movie star on the aeroplane. On the airplane, where do we want to place the movie star? It's disgusting. Just give me a friggin' Jeep, would you please?
Oh my God, I'm dying.
Hey,
here.
Listen, Ken, I got an idea. I'm just saying. What if tonight, about every 10 minutes, I completely change who I am? And we just do the interview, and by the time the evening is over with, it will be the Ken and Glenn show, the Ken and Dave show, the Ken and Scott show, the Ken and Bartholomew show, the Ken and Artemis show. Artemis, one of my favorite guys. This is Artemis Fable Spinner, and that's the way he sounds. His best friend is Ken Walls, and it's very, very exciting. But I also like this guy. You got a couple of these guys that hang out, right, and they tune into the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott on Sunday night, right?
Wow, I think somebody just called me a girl. Wow. But like, I realize you don't like that term.
Then why are we still discussing?
I'm trying to help you,
dude. Hey, Glenn, I've got a great idea. Why don't we go live and let's talk about stuff you don't like to talk about? That's how I know Ken's happy, is when he goes,
oh my God, that is too funny. All right, so we won't talk about that. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, and the fact that their club used to routinely beat my Dallas Cowboys, and it pissed me off. And then I had the privilege of meeting Lynn Swan, but I met him, and he was like, He goes, Glenn, nice to meet you. And I said, it's almost nice to meet you, Lynn.
You did not say
Yes,
that.
I did. And then I
He would have
smiled.
thumped your ass. He
No,
would have punched you
I
for that.
said that. And then I smiled. I said, it is a pleasure. But the truth is, man, you crushed me and you crushed our team. And he immediately goes, are you from Dallas? I mean, it's like he
Did he
knew,
really?
he knew instantly. Anyone who says, you crushed us, he's like, oh, you must be a Cowboys fan.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Same thing
So-
with Dwight Clark. You
Who's
remember
that?
he made the great catch from Joe Montana to kick the Cowboys out of the playoffs?
No.
Yeah, these are pains that Cowboy fans remember for years.
That's funny. All right, so moving right along. Oh look, Ernest said well, back in the 70s, the Steelers beat everybody often, a lot.
Yeah, when Bradshaw was their QB, they were lethal, man. They were such a good team. And Franco Harris, you remember the name Franco Harris?
Hell yeah.
Hell to the yeah.
Yeah, big time. Franco and Lynn Swan and Terry Bradshaw and who else did we have? Man, we had
Joe Green.
Mean Joe Green. It was insane. Look,
Who was
ask
that
any
linebacker that if Brad Sham were on with us, he would know all these names.
yeah. We'll
gotta
call
have
him
Brad-
up.
We gotta have Brad back with us.
Call Brad up and get him on here, man.
I will do that.
It's 10 after 10. Is he still up? What's going on, Larry Schneider?
One way to find out.
Look at this. Carl says Roger Craig is a friend of mine in the catch game with Montana and Clack. Who's that? Who's Montana and Clack? I'm lost there. So all right, you don't want to talk about being a movie star. You don't want to talk about the
No, but I'd
Steelers.
love to talk sports with Brad Sham.
Yeah, Brad Sham, for those of you that don't know who he is, like me, I didn't know. I met him recently. Glenn brought him on with us. And Brad is the voice of the Cowboys for the last, how long? 40 years?
40. This is his 40th season. Yes.
40 years, the voice of the Cowboys. I'm not sure what that means.
It means he calls the games on the radio.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and it's interesting that in radio, I just sent him a something. Hold on.
A text.
Yeah, and if he texts me in a couple of minutes, then it means he's awake. But the thing about radio commentary is radio is way harder than doing the color commentary on television for this reason. In radio, you have to create the picture in the minds of the listener. In
Right.
television, you don't have to do that. The image is right there. So you're commenting on what they're already seeing. So it's a special skill, and you really have to be an actor to be on the radio because you're painting the imagery and you're providing the enthusiasm for the fan. You're basically telling them, mirror my level of enthusiasm, and here's what you'll never hear. Well, and there go the Cowboys for a 90-yard touchdown. Right? They're not underwhelmed. They're not underwhelmed.
No.
Right? So they're like, and Roger Staubach back to pass, hands the ball to so and all of a sudden it's an event. And the person
Roger who?
Roger Staubach. I've been a fan a long time. I go back even to
Roger.
Don Meredith days, who was the quarterback before Staubach. And before
Isn't Roger Staubach the
Aikman.
guy that my Steelers used to sack all the time?
They did sack him a number of times. Hey, we sacked Terry Bradshaw a lot too.
Once.
I say we as though I had anything to do with it whatsoever.
I think that only happened once. I'm not judging, just saying. So
So have we
Well-
pretty much covered football?
I think so.
Oh, wait,
look-
Brad's-
what's
Oh,
he saying?
he said he can't. He's at a friend's house for dinner.
Okay. Well, all righty then. Just tell him practice social distancing. Oh, that's right. In Texas, it's pretty much They lifted it, right?
Well, sort
Dan says twice. So Roxy says back when the Cowboys were the Cowboys. Don't forget about Bart Starr.
Yeah, he was a great
So
Packer.
I was, I brought up football, and I probably shouldn't have, because I don't really follow it that much. Even there's times when I'm like, oh crap, I missed the Steelers game today. Did they lose or win?
Yes.
Good morning, Banyumati. Is that right? Banyumati. Good morning. Well, it's evening here, so good evening, good morning to you wherever you are. Dan Keller says that his dog growing up was named after Emmitt Smith.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Roxy says Dallas County still requires a face mask.
Well, that's
nice. So, yeah, I love
Dallas
watching.
Cowboys, by the way, also require a face mask. Just saying.
They're in their practice facility. Is that in the
Out in
Frisco?
Frisco, Texas, yes.
Yeah. So I was there. I actually walked out on their practice field, that outdoor area. Beautiful, unbelievably beautiful facility. I have a
in there. It's called, there's a name for it, Ken. It's called forgive me, I was just being thorough with Brad. He said he would love to come do the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott.
Awesome.
So we will have him, but I think we have a different guest this week. They call it the Star.
Yeah.
It's called the Star out there in Frisco.
Look what Dan just put up.
I want to explain that, Ken. There's a star at the center of the field.
Yeah.
And that's the explanation. You like that? They don't call me Thaddeus Thorough for nothing. That same star is on the side of their helmet. Now,
so they
I love
the facility.
I love the star, and I'm not bothered by the term Bart Star. I just don't like the term movie star.
Okay. Well, actor.
Yeah,
Just
that
actor.
works great.
But there's lots of actors that have not been movie stars like you.
Okay, I'm going to move into my next accent for the day because you always wanted to bring things back to me, my friend. You always wanted to talk about the movie star thing. So I'm going to be someone completely different for you tonight. And we're going to play like this for a while, okay? What is the fan base that you have? What is the fan base? What do they want to talk about tonight?
Stay close. Did you see what Dan put up? He put his wife's bra over his entire face and went to the grocery store.
He really did that? That's fantastic.
You said you have got Glenn hooked now, bro. He's like, I'm in. That is awesome.
Well, you know that I applaud out the box thinkers.
Look, when we go out together, we just stay close and share one bra. Works well.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
Oh my God. All right. So moving on from stars and bras.
We've covered multiple subjects, by the way.
I mean, quickly, and we've only been on here 24 minutes.
I'm going to devote the next 60 seconds to being Russian. И проглядите идиот, простите, бараше махуетът сделать дня очень рад вас познакомиться, вот моя визитная карточка.
What did you just say?
What I just said is that it is a good idea to spend Sunday nights with my friends Ken and Glenn with a guy named Scott. we listen in Moscow. We listen every week to these guys. Very impressive. I'm just
Oh my god. So yeah, we have Sunday night we have our show. We have man, what do you guys want? Does anybody have questions? We're just on here talking nonsensical stuff.
Ken, what we're doing is we're practicing a form of expression called free form. And it's one of my favorite ways to express. This is a character that I've been doing for years, and he's based on a friend of mine named Jay, who lives in Knoxville, Tennessee. And he is so excited. For years, back in the old days, I'm talking about when we all had answering machines. Little Jay would call me and he would go, "Hi, Glenn, it's Jay." Like I don't know. Like I can't piece that out. "Hi, Glenn, it's Jay. I just wanted to wish you happy Friday. Happy Friday, man. I hope it's a great weekend for all of us."
Oh,
Beautiful.
wow. Hey, Dan has a question for you.
Sure.
That is so funny.
That's
Somebody ask a serious question. So let's get serious.
What are we dealing with? What are we dealing with in the headlines? What do we need to talk about? What's happening? What's shaking? What breakthroughs could we use tonight?
Should we talk about conspiracy theories?
Well, yes, we can. That's a whole show, and it would probably be our last show. So if we're both prepared to call it good and perish when we get on the front door.
And you said call it good and
Right.
perish. Oh my God.
In fact, what's interesting is right about the time I said call it good, we see from Dan murder, murder, murder. Oh
It's
my God.
the murder hornets. Oh Lord. Did you see that meme? I saw a meme. Oh wow. Oh snap. Oh man, Ernest just called you.
Well, tell Ernest I feel bad and that he has administered the appropriate level of what I like to refer to as Jewish grandmotherly guilt. I was raised Jewish. My stepfather was Jewish. I know way more about guilt than anyone should ever have to know. And Ernest, you have been successful in your campaign to guilt me into doing something. I haven't ignored you, my friend. I haven't paid any attention to the recent friend request.
I'm sure there's
I'm
a
at that
lot.
point where I sit at 5,000 and I have to get rid of. So the first thing I do so as to not offend is I try. Thank you, honey. I'm
Oh, is that care?
I'm on live, but I want to show you. Look at Mama. Let me show you what Mama just brought me. Are you looking at this?
Oh snap! What
That's
is that?
two beautiful pieces of salmon served atop a bed of rice.
Wow!
And just here, I didn't even ask for it. Just
wow!
I love you. And here's how I will show you that love is handing you so that you can stand in front of your friggin' microphone and do dinner theater. I mean, come on.
You said dinner theater.
Yes.
Oh my God!
She
That is
never
funny.
discussed dinner with me.
Wow, that actually looks like. I mean, I don't like.
I'm going to eat
salmon,
and talk.
I
you
don't
know?
like salmon personally, but here Bob says, luckily, if Secret Service shows up at your door, one of their own is with you on air.
Right. Right. And I love the sense of humor they have where it's sort of like, good evening, funny guy.
Right, right. Joel says, let the man eat. So
You talk and I'll eat, Bob.
so I have a question. Who in their right mind consumes salmon?
It's good for you. It's also good for your skin.
Okay.
It also stimulates hair growth.
Yeah, you haven't had much of it then, huh?
Well, there's
So-
always hoping, man. There's always hoping.
You're like, I'm staying
Will
optimistic.
will you please pull a topic
Okay,
out of our?
somebody.
Oh, look, Samuel J. Sneed is here.
Samuel J. Sneed is always here, man. He's always with us. Marinated in Jack Daniels and brown sugar. Whoa. Well, since I haven't had Jack Daniels in a very long time, I probably won't keep that around the house.
Should we tell Bob Donnell that we started our day with him today?
We did?
Yeah, we
Oh, we did. This
We
morning.
watched a clip from Bob.
I said, oh, look at that. Bob was live. And you said, well, share the screen. Let's watch it. So we did. And it was short. Wasn't very long at all. Man, speaking of hair growth, like, look at this. Ah, man. It's
You're
not
talking to
good.
the wrong guy if you're seeking sympathy.
It's not good. Wow.
So, Bob, you know what that's like? What you just did is akin to walking through Central Africa with a big submarine sandwich that you're feeding your face with around all these starving people, and you go, "Ooh, I don't like this lettuce. I don't like this lettuce."
Listen, everybody's saying that alcohol burns off. I get that. I'm talking about I don't keep it in my house. Like I try to not have that stuff around me. Being a recovered alcoholic, look, if you hang out in a barber shop long enough, you're bound to get a haircut. I mean, look, ask Glenn.
That's true.
So I don't keep it around. That's all. So here, Samuel J. Sneed says sheriffs kicking back across the country is a good story. What's that mean? Hey, Roxy, I was actually walking through a flea market or something. I forget what it was. It seems like it was like a flea market. I don't know. Maybe it was a carnival or something, but I saw this hat and I'm like, my company name is CSI and there's a hat. This was meant to be, and I bought it. That's how that went down.
And that was before we ever met, without you
Yes.
knowing that I played the sheriff on CSI for the first year of the series.
Still have not seen that. And as a result of our friendship, I have now officially become addicted to 24.
24, which you're preparing to embark on
Yes.
season 5, as I understand it, tonight.
Yeah. Yes.
Later tonight.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to
Season
be glad
5,
you did, brother.
the money season.
It is the money season, indeed.
That's the season that you guys won the Emmy.
That's correct. We did, and it's the only year we won the Emmy. I am
wow.
looking, by the way, for Ernest's friend request because I want to do it live.
Well, if you would just type in his name into the search thing, it'll and you pull up his profile, you can just click confirm. Unless he did in fact go, you know what? This guy won't accept my friend request, so I'm going to unfriend request him.
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah, you can remove your request. 24 was intense. I watched TV back then. Yeah, what is the sheriff topic? I'm curious about the sheriff topic. Oh, hold on. He says they won't uphold the tyrannical new laws. They swore to uphold the Constitution.
Hey,
Ernest,
Ernest, will you check our friendship status and see if maybe we've journeyed deeper in the last 15 to 20 seconds?
yeah, Ernest. So, yeah, I don't want to get into talking about all that conspiracies, and I don't care about that either. I have I have my opinions, and I suffer from chronic opinionitis.
Ah, the first time I've heard you repeat that phrase. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, Samuel says,
About opinions tonight.
well, you know why they say opinions are like buttholes?
Yeah, because everyone has one and most of them stink.
Nope. 'Cause I don't want to hear yours.
Oh, I like that. That's not a
Oh.
spin on it that I had heard. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Ernest says, thank you, kind sir.
I've
You
always
gotta-
thought that it was the creator had to have a sense of humor, given that our booty hole looks like a balloon knot.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
Let's switch topics. And you're
Have a sense of humor. Oh, it's funny. How can you take yourself seriously when every one of us have a balloon knot? I mean, really, how seriously can you take yourself?
oh my God, that's funny, dude.
Grab a mirror, lower it down, and go, son of a gun, he's right.
Oh, that's funny. Joel Boer said, our numbers just dropped. You just offended half our audience. Joel says, I bet we will have laser endowed sharks in August. Wow.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I need an explanation.
Oh, because we have murder hornets right now.
Oh, I got it. So the sharks are coming after us with laser guns.
Yeah, once we figure out how to defeat the murder hornets, then we'll have to take on the laser sharks.
Well, we know something's going to get us. We know that. So in the meantime, what to do? I
Right.
think that's the life question. Something's going to get you.
Yeah.
It's going to get all of us. It'll be a different something.
Yeah.
The something is going to be death, but it's going to show up in different forms. So it's going to take us all, but it hasn't done that yet. So while we wait, you know how in a restaurant you walk in and they go, if you'd like, we don't have your table prepared, but if you'd like, you can wait in the bar.
Mhm.
So what are we going to do while we wait in the bar? I think is the question, Ken. What are we doing while we wait in the bar? There, new topic, go.
Yes. I haven't been waiting on anything. I've been pushing forward. In fact, I've been busier than I've ever been in my life in my business. So look, man, like the two doctors, the video I showed the other night that said this is the flu. In
Mhm.
fact, they were spouting off some data, and I've heard other doctors say it too. But again, whatever. Here's the thing. There is a time for every single one of us on this planet that we are no longer going to be here. Something is going to take us out. Something. Most people live their lives in fear of dying, in fear of something going wrong. I live my life in excitement for what's getting ready to go right. I live my life with this right here, dude. When you said this one day on your acting school, I held this up. I said, dude, look, I have this on my computer. The universe is conspiring for me.
And there is a word for that, and the word is pronoia.
Pronoia, yes.
Pronoia. It is the opposite of paranoia. I did not make the word up. It's been around since the beginning of time. But Ken, look how messed up we are. If I can talk with salmon in my mouth,
Please, I'll give you.
look
full
how messed
screen.
up we are. I want to give you. May I give you an example? I've never said this in front of you.
Yes.
An example of how messed up we are as a species. How many times in your life have you heard this phrase? I know it's a lot, and you're not going to be able to give me an exact count. So you just tell me, is the answer a lot or a little? But I know you've heard it. And the phrase is, it's too good to be true.
16,275
Right.
times.
Okay, so here's my point. In the same way that everyone knows the word paranoia, and almost nobody knows the word pronoia, but our
Right.
job is to edutain, right?
Yep.
We're teaching edutainment
Yes.
on this show, and so part of our responsibility to be proper edutainers is we want to offer some thoughts from time to time that might accidentally be worth a damn. So when I was talking about pronoia and paranoia, and now I was dovetailing off of something you just said, and I lost my thought. I meandered out into Reflectionville, and it disappeared. What were we talking about? Just the phrase, it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Okay. I brought myself back.
Yeah, you did. Full circle.
Here is the phrase you never hear.
Hey, by the way, like a good
man.
movie star would do.
Okay, thank you. I was right there with the punchline. So here is the opposite phrase that we never hear, and it shows you how we are groomed to expect disaster or negativity or things to go wrong. Here's proof of it. No one in the history of the planet has ever said this line. That is too bad to be true. No one
Right.
ever says it's too bad to be true.
You're
Think
right.
about that. It means
You're right.
people will believe darkness like that. No qualms, no restrictions, no resistance. If we announce something that's awful, people go, yeah, I know about that. Yeah, boy, that's true. Or I've seen that or been there, done that before. But if you share something that's really lofty and wonderful and fantastic and full of joy and love, and it's just elevated, it takes no time at all for several people to cross their arms and go, that is too good to be true. You watch yourself.
Don't be getting-
Yourself. Be careful now, because that stuff's too good to be true. I just think that's forgive me for being serious for a moment, but I think that is an awful statement about who we've become as people, that we will believe negative news like that, but anything that's really, really positive, we decide that it's too good to be true.
I think though that's if you look at history, man, there's not a time in history that's recorded where anything other than that existed. That attitude when the Edison was working on inventing the light bulb, they called him crazy. They said,
Yes.
You're out of your mind. It's never going to happen. Henry Ford went through it. We look all the way back to Jesus Christ. I mean, good Lord, they hung him on a cross.
Look at what we did to Kennedy. Look at what we did with Dr. Martin
Right.
Luther King. Look at what we did to Robert Kennedy. It's like when
right.
someone gets out on the cutting edge of expressing love and opinionitis about love,
Yes.
they place themselves at risk,
Yeah.
right? So it's a shame that society wants to snuff out light.
It's why I don't watch the news ever. Here, Joe Ingram just said it right there.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
the truth. All of history is sensationalized storytelling for viewers. Now, I've read, and I don't remember what I've read about it, but I've read, I think Dr. Dyer talks a lot about it.
Thank you for quoting Dr. Dyer and not Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, I don't know any Dr. Seuss, but I have read that we are literally built to thrive on negativity and not positivity. And it's crazy. Like I'm not.
Well, I'm gonna jump in there with you.
Respond.
Were we built to do that, or have we just learned a really bad habit?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You mean societally programmed?
Yes.
That I'll buy. 100%
Globally.
I'll buy that.
Globally.
Yes.
Globally. I have, and I know you have friends all over the world. I have friends all over the world, and I'm telling you, man, the everybody, like, if you report the bad news, it'll spread like wildfire. You report anything good, man, it moves slow as molasses.
Well, even the saying in the news is if it bleeds, it leads.
Right.
So the evening story, when they open up the news, is they're taught to open with something that's really, really bloody, nasty, or awful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then they also usually don't mention it as the lead story. It's the lead billboard so that you'll hang on and wait and watch the news so that they can drop it in at the end.
Now, I do want to say this, Samuel. I love you like a brother, man. I'm not calling you out. I just, because I'm guilty of this too. I want to make a point. Saying thanks to the U.S. Department of Education, blanking it up. I get that. Okay. I think our educational system is messed up too. But that goes back to exactly what we're talking about. If I said, well, thanks to all balding actors, I'm just kidding. But if I, like, when we take a anything and we put it into, I see it. Thanks for stopping by, Glenn. Let's see if I can make him break. Told you. So I'm not using anyone as the example. I'm saying that if we take a statement, and this is human nature for us to go, well, all of those people are the reason for our problems, and then we get a bunch of other people to rally around that. Well, then that's where it perpetuates and it becomes poisonous, instead of, how about we have a conversation about, and Glenn, you've talked about this. I've talked about it. I've talked about it before you and I ever met. And that is the Mother Teresa being asked to march in a protest against the Vietnam War. And she said, no, I will not. And then they came back later and said, will you march in a
peace
rally
for the same war? For the same war.
Exactly. Look, Rebecca loves your bald ginger head.
Well, I love Rebecca, and she doesn't have a bald ginger head, but I love her.
She's awesome.
She's my bud, as is Roxy, by the way. Roxy's on with us tonight, or was earlier. I don't know if she's still there. She's one of my extra milers.
She's here. Where'd she go? Here.
You know what? I didn't even share this out tonight, bud.
She said, don't get your hopes up.
Well, that's funny. Can you put it on our extra mile page, or you want me to?
Yeah, share it. Yeah, you haven't even shared it.
No.
Dude, what the heck, man?
Well, from watching you for the first 3 minutes of the program, I thought, is this really shareable? But you seem to have outlasted that sort of soft and or possibly dull, maybe even boring section of tonight's show.
So you're that's all right, man. I can carry the weight. It's all good.
Ernest, look at this. Ernest said, "Thank you for accepting the request."
Oh,
see that? Ernest and I are on our way to great things. And the lovely Pamela Aubrey.
There's Pam. Hey, Pam.
Aubrey was her name.
Cindy Hurley is here too.
Hello, Cindy. We love our Cindy. We love our Aubrey.
We love our Joe.
Well, who doesn't love Joe?
Did you guys hear about what happened an hour ago?
Go ahead.
See how it's more exciting for the anticipated negativity? He's right. Dan Keller says, what happened?
We have an acceptance, Ken.
What?
From Brad Sham for next Sunday.
Boom.
He just wrote me and said, I have a Mother's Day dinner that I'm doing with my lady, and the following week I'm wide open, would love to be your guest. So we'll have Brad Sham on the show. a week
Awesome.
from Sunday. That'll be a great show.
That'll be awesome. If we could get everybody in Dallas to watch.
And maybe we can find a way to get Dallas back in the Super Bowl. Wow, it went quiet.
Thanks
right,
for stopping by, Glenn.
Get rid of me, baby. I'm gonna share this out to our Facebook page.
Share it to your page.
To my
too.
own page. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can go back and share it to all the other groups. Dan said, "Oh shoot, Mother's Day." Dan has 8 children. 8, right, Dan? 8, 7, 9? It's a lot. Like he has a basketball team. Seriously. He said, you'd think after 25 kids I'd remember. What's up, Jeremy? How you doing? Joe says you would have to talk slower to get the Texas crowd. Dan has 6 kids. And they're all under the age of 10. It's a lot. It's a lot of kids. And Dan, Sunday is Mother's Day, bro. Like Sunday's Mother's Day, and you have 6 kids. You're not allowed to forget that. His oldest is 9, and all of them are boys. Wow. Glenn, are you still with us?
I am.
Hey,
man.
go ahead. We have Glenn Mooreshower out in the field right now. Hey, Glenn, come in. Are you there?
Hi, listen, there is a wicked thunderstorm coming through town. It is producing lightning and just bursts of thunder. And I'm talking about the kind of thunder that makes us believe in God. There was a field full of atheists until just a few moments ago, and there's one in big rumbles. I like to call them rumbles. And so anyway, we think we're going to survive, but meanwhile, back to you, Ken.
My God. Holy mother. All right. Well, hey, Glenn, thanks for reporting in. Can you give the microphone back to our normal reporter?
Cut to me again. Cut to me again.
No more.
Cut to me again.
Oh, no. Thank you. Thank you, Glenn. Bye-bye now. Thank you. You said in those rumbles that make you believe in God.
I was going to be a weatherman. I was going to talk to you from Laredo and talk to you about the way the weather is down here, and say it was a beautiful 91-degree day with dust everywhere, and we're having a good time.
Joe said that was Glenisha.
Glenish.
Oh,
Okay, so I posted it out to my main page.
he said we get a different Glenn every 10 minutes. It's true. Ralph says it's heading for my mama's trailer. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh,
I'm putting it's Friday. Come join us.
That is so funny.
So, do we make the announcement about this Sunday night's game? Yeah, let's announce who we think.
We haven't cleared it yet.
Can we say we think it's going to be?
No, not
No.
no.
All right.
I can just mute you like this. Now nobody can hear you. See if you can read his lips.
You know, it's interesting that I was.
That is really good. Blake. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Glenn. He looks
How
like
do you
he's
like
lost-
my freeze? How do you like my freeze? I love to do that. Sometimes when I'm on someone's show in mid-sentence, like I'll mention, Joe Ingram said the other day to me, he said, Glenn, I was wondering. And then what happens is people start talking about you on the show like, we must have lost him. Glenn, check your internet. And then they talk about you and you find out how they really feel, because all you had to do is pretend to freeze. Try the freeze. Try it for me, Ken, right now. Yeah, just talking in mid-sentence, do the freeze.
I don't
Just say yes in life.
I don't want to. How did I do?
Oh, Cindy said, loving all your guests tonight, Ken.
Yeah, right. Right. Good topic. Thankful for 2-ply being in the back, all being back in the stores.
Hey,
wow.
boy, that's a truth. Listen, let's address the 1-ply experience.
Oh no, we're not.
1-ply.
No, hold it. It's mute time again.
No, but I mean, when I wipe something with a paper towel, relax. I didn't say toilet paper. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Okay.
Take it easy, my friend. Take it easy. You're what we call an alarmist, okay? Don't be so alarmed. So I take a paper towel. I don't wish to have the counter I'm wiping be able to completely eviscerate the towel I'm wiping it with. And that's what happens to a 1-ply towel. Sorry to say that, but man, there are some inferior paper towel products out there. The generic brand, the store brand, forget about it.
Hey,
it doesn't even deserve to become a butt wipe. It's really bad. Roxy said Ken's balloon.
Wow.
Roxy, baby.
Wow, Roxy.
There's my girl.
Well, you know what's interesting though is in not, I don't know if it's everywhere, but I know in parts of India and other third world nations, they don't use toilet paper. They literally use their hand.
Attention all shoppers. Cancel future travel plans.
That's what I've heard.
Oh my God. That
Have you heard that?
Run out and
your cords moving.
I know, that's the problem. The problem is with this on, these are sitting there dangling and it confuses people. And God forbid they should be stoned because they're like, I'm pretty sure his internet failed, but his earbuds still seem to be flapping in the wind. There's a problem. Oh, by the way, here's another voice that I love from the 1940s. This was the voice of the radio. Do you remember in the old days? And they would talk about back in World War II, and it was for some reason everyone sounded like U.S. President Harry S. Truman. What was that all about? That was so weird. Every so often, I'll call my friend Catherine Franco and go, "Good morning, Catherine. It's Glenn Morshower calling from the 1940s. How are you, my love?" It's very strange.
That I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, everyone was it was like a kind of a New England hybrid voice, and it's bizarre. It appears Babe Ruth has hit the ball over the wall, right? And then everyone became Scott McCain, which is fantastic. And we had a chance to kid Scott last week about jobs he could never do. I don't think he was offended. I actually think he thought it was kind of funny. You know, we told our partner on Sunday nights with the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott McCain, who really has the single greatest voice on the planet. Let's call it what
he does.
But
he does.
While it qualifies him for so many things, there are other things it would disqualify him from, like the doctor who's telling a patient, "Hey, I don't know exactly how to tell you this, but you've got about 8 more days to live." It's funny.
That's so messed up, man.
Or an undertaker at the funeral home going, "Let's take just a few minutes to consider the life of the recently deceased." Like, what? Ouch.
So now I have to point out something that's obvious to the rest of us. You said that because I believe you have a good friend that you know pretty well, that is the Allstate guy,
Dennis Haysbert.
Yeah,
who played
like
President David Palmer with us for 5 seasons on 24.
Yeah, so he has an amazing voice as well.
He does. He is sort of the James Earl Jones of our generation.
Yeah.
And now
So
we have
what-
Scott McCain, who's right up there with Dennis Haysbert. Hey, you talk about an interesting show.
Look,
Let's get Dennis on
Scott has known Scott since he was a young teen.
And Scott, did Scott sound like that when he was a teen? You know, he did
Wow.
sound that way in that movie clip he showed us.
He did.
He's like, guys, let's take a look at these contracts. Do you remember that? When he put
Yeah.
the contracts on the table, let's look at the contracts.
Yeah.
Thinking, dude, you're like 16 going on 60.
Yeah.
But he's a beautiful dude with a great voice, and we love our Scott.
Oh,
We love our
yeah.
Scotty.
James Earl Jones, he has a voice. Is he still alive?
He is.
Is he? Yeah.
I mean,
He's
I
good.
haven't checked the paper today, but no, I mean, it's always possible. That would be so weird when you go, he still is, and someone goes, well, guess what?
He died this morning. Way to go.
Man,
No.
we just
Have you
lost
ever
Brian
have you
Dennehy
met
last
him?
week. No, I haven't.
How about Max McLean?
No, I do not know Max. Where would
I've
I know
never-
Max from?
Yeah, I've never heard of Max.
Did you see Ralph's line? This show is brought to you by Lucky Strike Filters.
Yeah. That's awesome. That is awesome. So what are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about
Everything. Our subject
No, we're-
tonight is everything.
we're talking about we are talking about living. We're talking about living instead of preparing to die.
Living versus waiting to die. Great topic.
I mean, people most you go.
You say that to the audience. Tonight we'll be talking about living as opposed to waiting to die. Go. I'm still trying to share this thing out, brother.
Dude, what?
Joe's right. We were talking about one-ply toilet paper.
That no,
Now, how
that
do you know that they wipe with their hand only in many areas of the world?
Max recoded the audio Bible and does a lot of stage theater. That's what it's called in West Virginia, by the way. I live
In
there for
Texas,
five-
too. Y'all going to theater class?
Yeah, theater. In an English accent. Okay.
Recorded the audio Bible. Does lots of stage theater.
Roxy is encouraging people to get busy living or well, I mean, so here's the thing.
And for God's sake, look at the photo. She's pictured there by the head of the Sphinx. That's not someone who's waiting around to die.
I know. So a lot of people right now still believe in this quarantine thing. I, for one, have not been one of the subscribers of that, but and are sitting around like not living. They're preparing for the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there are people mentally preparing for, well, I don't think I know. I mean, the suicides are up all over the freaking world. The suicide hotlines are up like crazy. And Ralph says we've all had those friends and relatives that couldn't wait to die. Yeah, that isn't that. And how do you live 80, 90, whatever years on this planet and never having really, and I'm not judging, man. I just know a lot of people like this that, you know, that they're here for all of these years and never really lived.
So what's the answer?
I mean, dude, every interview I do on Breakthrough Walls, and I've interviewed now almost somewhere in the vicinity of 250 celebrities and entrepreneurs, and I always ask at the end, you know, what do you think it is that holds most people back? And it's always some sort of fear. And in the book, A Course in Miracles, summation of A Course in Miracles is everything we experience as human beings as a direct result can be categorized as love or fear-based. One of those two columns, love or fear. Most people live in the fear column. Would you agree or disagree? Oh my God, he actually froze that time. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yes, I agree. I don't know
Okay.
that they would identify it as fear. I think it is in the fear column, but it's just not been really thought of as fear-based. There are a lot of things people do. Prejudice is fear-based,
Sure it is.
you know?
Yeah.
Any school, I mean, what are you afraid it's going to get on you? I mean, really, you know, when I
Right.
first met my my first few buds of mine that were gay back in theater class, it was like, well, that's going to get on you. Well, first of all, it's not like it's a problem, but secondly, you don't catch it. You know,
Right.
I mean, this is a way of life, and it is different. And I've never had those desires. So what do I know? What do I
Right.
know? That I mean, it's all fear. It's fear, and it's really it underscores George Carlin's position, Ken, on NIMBY, NIMBY, not in my backyard. So
Mhm.
we can hear about things all day long and we'll remain very calm about it. Maybe not even manage to muster up an opinion about it. We're not really invested in it. And then all of a sudden we hear, "Oh, you talking about putting that in my backyard?" And now it's a whole different thing. And that's fear.
Yeah.
It's fine for someone else to be dealing with whatever it is in life, right? Whatever tumultuous situation might be going on out in the world. And they won't, as we say down here in the South, they don't pay it any never mind. But then all
Right.
of a sudden, when it comes to pay them a visit in their own backyard, it's like, well, we just can't have that. And so until something, you know, knocks on your own door, a lot of
Yeah.
times people are not living their lives from a compassionate perspective.
Yeah.
What was that comment? Was that Joe Ingram?
Yeah. It's a good
I was
comment.
busy trying to make a point. I want to hear it. No, Napoleon Hill and when he talks. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Sharon Lecter wrote that. Well, I don't know what you call it. She underscored it. I don't. It's a Napoleon Hill book or letter or book, whatever. But she did the thing, and it's a great book. Most people are on autopilot.
And you know what? I've come to find out, Ken, in my 61 years, is we're driven differently. People are driven differently. So coming to the end and not having done much, it turns out, and there's no judgment about this at all, turns out that's fine with some people. That's actually fine.
Yeah.
And so that's the puzzling thing about it is, why is it that some, again, there is no right or wrong answer, please know, and I'm in joyous neutrality about this. But why is it that some people are so terribly driven? And I'll raise my hand to that group.
Me too.
Terribly driven in so many matters, right? There are only a few things I just don't even I don't care. I don't care about it. It's not a concern. But man, I tend to be a very driven human being, and I really believe in the old saying, go all the way or don't go at all. What about Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Will determine if you're simply existing or living your life to its fullest. Here's what I think, man. I mean, first off, thank you. I love that. I think that people are, man, I mean, dude, there's 7 billion people plus on this planet. And it's a tiny percentage of people that can say they ever hit millionaire status, or that they achieved everything that they ever could have imagined achieving, or that they are living in this unbelievable space of joy and happiness
and personal peace. And they actually, for the first time in their lives, don't want to be anyone else. They don't want to be anywhere else. They don't want the people's things. They don't want their bank account. They just go, you know what? I'm good. I'm good being me. I
I know a
love
lot.
my life.
I know a lot of people like that, man.
As do
You know,
I. And
my
I add one thing, Ken, which I know
Yeah.
some of them that'll sit on the front porch of their house and you go, "Hey, Uncle Teddy, how was your day today?" And he goes,
Yeah.
"Well, dog took a dump earlier right over there,
yeah,
right on the porch near the front door." And he appears to be falling asleep and he goes like this. "I asked your grandma to pick it up." And it's like, that's the description of the day.
yeah,
And you go, you know what? I think my job is to butt the hell out of your piece because you're really happy with just describing the dog taking a shit on the porch. And that's the fullness of the day. God bless you, man. I mean, that's beautiful. But
Yeah.
I am so driven that sometimes I kind of have to exit stage left because I know this much. I know that it takes the movers and the shakers if we're going to get some things done in this world.
yeah,
We can't all just sit around watching the dog take a shit on the porch. We got to stand up and take a stand about what we believe or what we'd like to create in this world. Weldon says, "What are we doing tonight?" Weldon, we're glad you came along because we were really hoping you could tell us that.
right. Roxy says it's about self-actualization, and I agree with that. And I, as you know, and I say it often, I meditate every single day of my life. Not necessarily for any purpose other than to be able to say I meditate every day of my life. I'm kidding.
Right. Not that you genuinely enjoy it, but you love to brag endlessly about it.
I do. No,
Right.
I do. It's not even a matter of, I mean, I do enjoy it, but that's not why I do
I
it.
know you're devoted to it. You dropped me like a bad habit when I called you the other morning. It's like, yeah, good to talk to you. Hey, it's meditation time. And I'll talk to you tonight, Glenn. I mean, it was the most abrupt thing I've ever seen. It was. I mean, the first orgasm I had in my life when I was a teenage boy, it didn't happen that quickly. I'm serious. It was like we were talking about how you were, and you had not had coffee, and I'll see you later. I got to meditate.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? You might need to meditate.
Oh, I do.
I know.
I do.
Beautiful.
And I don't let it doesn't look, man. And I think you and I are good enough friends that I can say, "Hey, dude,
Later.
yeah,
Yeah.
just cutting my meditation time. I got to roll." So, and I think that's what I said too.
I'm just glad we weren't
So,
when my brother died. I'm glad we weren't friends that week and that it took a while for us to become friends. Because I think it might have gone something like this. "Dude, I'm really sorry you lost your brother. Listen, I haven't had coffee yet, so I'll talk to you tonight."
I can't even believe you just.
This is why people love us, Ken, because we never know what either one
would never do that.
Bible quotes coming in. We do. Can we look at these? I always think that makes for great conversation. You're going to have to go back, my brother.
Oh my gosh. I got to put in work for this.
From Brigitte. Is that how you pronounce it?
Brigitte. Enjoying Life Proverbs 17:22. Joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones.
Ecclesiastes 5:18.
You just wanted to say Ecclesiastes because it's a fun word to say.
I pulled it off.
You did.
"Behold, what I have seen to be good and fitting is to eat and drink and find enjoyment in all the toil with which one toils under the sun, the few days of his life that God has given him, for this is his lot." Well, amen to that, Brigitte. Yeah. That's just cool. Brigitte, I need to know how to pronounce it. Is it Brigitte or Brigitte? I'm hoping.
She isn't in Texas. It isn't Brigitte.
I'm hoping it's Brigitte because if not, it sounds suspiciously like something else.
Oh, 1 Thessalonians 4:11. Make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. You should mind your own business and work with your hands, just as we told you.
Oh, wow. Back to back. I love that one too. check out Proverbs 27:3, I think is it. 27:3. Can someone look up Proverbs 27:3?
What's it about?
Well, I want you to be surprised. It's one of my favorite verses.
I've read it, by the way.
The
Pam says many highly sensitive beings struggle immensely with the conditions of this world. We need to be better at helping each other to do that.
You know,
and
Pamela Aubrey was granted wings years ago. She's not going to have to wait to heaven to pick them up. You know, some people get their wings here. Oh, Ernest is going to give us one.
yeah, this is the one he said up here. This first, I love the one Ken shared the other day, or was it yesterday? Malachi 3, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse so that there may be food in my house. Test me, which is the only place in the Bible where God says to test him. Test me in this way, says the Lord Almighty, or of hosts, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing you will not have enough room to store it all. And that is truth.
By the way, I had a little senior moment in my mind, and I've not checked anything in the off time, but it's 23:7. Will someone look up 23:7 in Proverbs?
Proverbs 23:7. Someone look it up. Oh, there's 27:3. A stone is heavy and
No,
sand
so it's not
is
23. It's 23:7. My bad.
23:7. Corey had it too.
Yeah, look up 23:7. It's my favorite verse in the whole Bible.
So let's see, Jim. What the heck? What's that? Jim Rohn 70 10 10 10. Roxy even had it. Let's see who puts 23:7 up on the screen first. Ready,
23:7 is
set,
what-
go.
Come on, somebody.
Huh?
We're waiting on Proverbs 23:7.
Oh, it was Corey Calvin. For he is the kind of person who is
No,
always,
that's not 23:7.
yes, it is.
There it is. Ernest has it. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's it. That
Oh,
explains why life looks like it looks and feels like it feels. And the actual quote is, as a man thinketh in his own heart, so is he. And what I couldn't help but notice about that verse when I first read it years ago, Ken, is that it was the heart that was doing the thinking.
yeah.
He didn't say, as a man thinketh in his own mind, or as a man thinketh in his own brain. The verse was, as he thinketh in his own heart. And I think that we've gotten away from that. And the closer we get to leading with the heart, the healthier we are. Now, there's an exercise that I've done for many, many years in my live programs where you ask the audience to stand and point to themselves. And you do it in order. You tell them to stand first, and you wait until everybody has stood. And then you say, now, if you would, close your eyes, and I'd like you at this time to now point to yourself, please. And what you see is an auditorium full of people doing this. That happens to be a very powerful teaching, because at no point did I say, please point to your heart. All I said was point to yourself. And they don't do this. They don't point to their left elbow.
Right.
They don't point to their shoulder. They don't do this. They go here. And it seems that that's just an understood truth, but we don't live as though it is the understanding. And so somewhere we're out of sync with what we know to be true. We know that we are heart-centered creatures on some level. By the way, I can now wax philosophical now that I'm done eating salmon. But when we're asked to point to us, we do point to our heart. So the question becomes, why have we gotten away from it?
I'll be right back. Keep talking.
And my question, I'm not going to feel lonely without you, Ken. The question that is an ongoing question that I've asked for years, guys, whenever you're facing any kind of challenge is, what would love do? Just that simple. What would love do in this moment? Not what would ego do? What would love do? Not what would self-righteousness do, but what would love do? Not what would control and manipulation do, but what would love do? And I got to tell you, you really can't go wrong. And when you're in a partnership of any kind, whether it's a love partnership, a business partnership, a friendship, romantic relationship, a marriage, any kind. And in that relationship, if both people go to the question of what would love do here, you will experience magic. Guaranteed. Now, does that mean you get an exemption card? Good evening. Hi.
Okay, Glenn. Do your British accent.
I've heard that you do one, and I'd like to hear yours, and then I will join you.
What do I say?
I would like you to say, hello, how are you today?
Hello, how are you today?
Oh, that's lovely. That's fantastic. Would you say this with me? Would you like some tea and crumpets?
Wait, what do you say?
Would you
After tea-
like some tea and crumpets?
Crumpets? Okay. Would you like some tea and crumpets?
Oh, that's beautiful. And you've even got the cadence down. And so they drop the K sound in like, my dear, so that it becomes like. Like, would you like some tea and crumpets? That's what they
Yes.
do. Say it one more time. Would you like some tea and crumpets?
Would you like some tea and crumpets?
Oh my gosh, where did you pick that up? It's so good.
Oh, look. What do you say?
Thank you.
Thank you. Could I have a ticket?
Much.
Could I have a ticket, please, in first class?
Say it.
What?
Say, could I have a
I'd like my ticket in first class.
I would like a ticket in first class, please.
You're incredible. You do this so much better than my students.
She really does. She's unbelievable. She walks around talking British all the time.
Would you like me? Now we're going to go and change it now and teach you a little bit of an Australian dialect. You ready? I'm going to give you a phrase,
Okay.
and it's in Australian. So
Okay.
just say this, and it's different. Doesn't sound the same. So,
Okay.
would you like?
Would
Just
you
repeat
like?
after me. Would you like
Would you like
some Vegemite
some Vegemite
on your toast?
toast?
Toast. She's
Toast.
got a great ear because she said it with the Australian dialect. It's not toast, which is the British version, but toast, which is Australian. So it goes, would you like some Vegemite on your toast?
Yeah, I watch these YouTubers and they're Australian and they all hate Vegemite.
They all hate Vegemite. You know what they call it, Abigail? They call it an acquired taste. They refer to it as an acquired taste. But
That's
here's
really-
the thing. They look like they just ate dog doo-doo on their
I
face.
know.
I know.
I was like, how would you eat that? I would go to the trash can and throw up.
Right, you've got to throw up. You can't put Vegemite on your toast. It tastes like dog poop.
Well, considering my dog eats that, I could just give it to her.
Oh my God, Ken, I think there's an excellent chance that you're breeding a young actress there, because when I was Abigail's age, I was doing exactly the thing she's doing right now.
Okay,
Like,
but
who
hang
needs
on.
any playmates? I'll just entertain myself.
But you said breeding. What am I going to be breeding with? Am I going to be breeding with an elephant or a dog or a cat?
Right,
What do you want me to breed with?
right.
No.
It all comes down to what we're going to be breeding with.
We are
Oh.
not talking about breeding.
Oh, okay.
Now let me work with you on one more here. Can you do
Oh.
this dialect? Can you sound like this?
Probably not.
No, go like this and just go, hey, I gave you a $20 bill for a hot dog. Where's my change?
I would not pay $20 for a hot dog. That is like that.
You are so devoted to this dialect, my love. Keep it up. You're gonna
I can go make myself a hot dog for absolutely like $5 at the shops.
So let me ask you this. What did the Buddhist say to the hot dog vendor? What did the
Hot dog
Buddhist
Christ.
What did the Buddhist say to the hot dog vendor?
What's a Buddhist?
A Buddhist, one who believes in Buddha.
Oh my Lord.
So what did the Buddhist say to the hot dog vendor? Make me one with everything.
Kind of like an everything pretzel, but an everything hot dog.
Same idea. It's a spiritual concept. But yes, make me one with everything. And he gives the hot dog vendor a $20 bill. And the
Well,
hot
why
dog
would he
vendor
give
puts, wait a minute, he takes the 20 and he puts it in his pocket. And the Buddhist says, excuse me, where's my change? And the vendor says, being a Buddhist, sir, you should know that change comes from within. There's your Buddhist joke for the day.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Oh, your
Everybody
voices
loves
are
your accent.
amazing.
Everybody
Thank
loves
you.
it. Say thank you, Mr. Moreshower.
Mr.
Mr. Moreshower.
Mr. Morshua. Can you say it this way, Mr. Morshua?
Joshua.
Yes, that was lovely. Mr.
Thank
Morshua.
you. Thank
Your
you.
voice, I'm not kidding. You have a musical ear. You get dialects like that, my dear. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you.
Well, now, why? Why are you learning that dialect? Why
Did you
know
hear?
that dialect, Abigail?
What did he say?
Listen, say it again.
Why do you know that dialect? Where and why are you studying it?
Probably because I watch those kids on YouTube, and I just I try to talk like them, but then like I end up doing something different, and like people are like, "That's not an Australian accent," and I'm like, "Think what you think, and let me have my own opinion." Like, people, come on! I don't need your opinion.
Ken, why isn't it called the Ken Glenn Scott with a gal named Abigail show? Oh my gosh.
And she's brilliant.
Amazing.
Him to hire me and give me a job, and he refuses.
Well, your father, there's an excellent chance that he might be just a bit stuffy.
Yeah.
He might be a bit stuffy. I love you, my darling. It is such a pleasure. I can't wait to give you your very first hug from Uncle G. She's
That's
like,
Glenn.
who is Uncle G? I've not been informed. She was like, I've not been informed that you're my uncle.
Would you like to say a phrase with me?
I would love to say a phrase with you.
So would you like? I really love to say like in like an accent. I love to say shops because like people who talk like USA, you know what I mean? Like
USA, right?
yeah, like USA. They say
USA.
grocery store, and then like the people in Australia and like in Britain they say shops
Right.
or
go
like
to the shops.
or the candy sweets.
Say
And
that
I don't
again.
understand that. Why do they have to do it different?
Well, you know, when they go on vacation, they don't go on vacation. Do you know that?
They go on a trip.
No. I mean, yes, but that's not the expression they use. They go on holiday. That's correct. Do you know that they don't call college college? They call it university.
Well, some people like, for example, like, I know this isn't a school, but like Pleasant University, you know what I mean?
You guys are witnessing sheer brilliance, by the way. Abigail
There's
is
like,
brilliant.
She
oh,
is.
thank you. I
Well,
literally
no.
said last night at the dinner table, I said, I think I'm a bit smarter than other kids because I'm not the one in my class who, when I have a sub, I have a contest who can jump over the desk the farthest.
Who can jump over the desk the farthest?
I know, people in my class are so dumb.
Oh my God, you have your father's opinions about humans.
I
Well
told you.
done, Ken. Well done.
All right. Tell everybody good night. Say thank you for letting me entertain you.
Abigail,
She's got-
it is such a pleasure, honey. Such a
It's a
pleasure to
pleasure.
spend time with
It's a
you.
pleasure meeting you.
It's a pleasure meeting you too. Would you like to come over for some tea and crumpets?
Yes, please. Thank you for the offer.
You're welcome. And I tell you what, I'm going to make a special trip to Marion in the not too distant future. And I'm going to show up on your front doorstep with both tea and crumpets.
Good. Will you bring extra crumpets for the dogs?
I will, and possibly even a blueberry scone.
That's lovely.
Say good night. Say good night. Bye.
Not.
I'll be right back. I gotta go put her down. I'll be right back.
My gosh. So listen, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If any of you stayed to watch, but wow, you know what that is? What you just saw, what that is emotional freedom, playfulness. And as a people, we are well when we stay in that vicinity, at least with a certain percentage of our adulthood, and that we don't stray too far from playfulness. You know, a lot of people stop playing because they get too old. That's what they've said. I'm too old for that. So they stop playing because they've gotten old, instead of stopping to consider that they've gotten old because they stopped playing. That actually was the other way around. So play more, and stay young.
Was that
Oh my gosh, did I ever? I had like a 50-yard front row seat in that exchange. She is amazing. She's amazingly talented, Ken, and
she is?
quite precocious, well beyond her years, and opinionated, not unlike someone
Yeah.
I know.
Wait
No,
till you get to know her
really-
mother.
Man, she is really, really sharp. And here's the thing. She's going to need to be stimulated by our education system, because she's going to be someone who gets bored very easily with the nonsense.
She does, man. And she has been known to correct her teachers' English. Like, teacher, I think you just ended a sentence with a preposition.
That's fun.
She is something else, man. She is something else.
Oh, Samuel Sneed said, I agree, Glenn. Even Jesus said to be like little children. Yes, I
Yeah.
think it was be ye as children and enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
You know, and so we need to not judge that. We realize that kids don't have our hang-ups. Those are things that we've accrued over time. And so when we go back to that joyous state of pure potentiality that we were in the maternity ward, when we were laying there expressing freedom and pure potentiality, where we could have gone in any direction our soul's desire wanted, if we had not been imprinted by society.
That's
If
right.
we could have stayed free from societal imprinting, you would have seen a lot more magical versions of life than what you currently see. If people would have been allowed to just mind their own soul's business,
Yeah.
you'd see some amazing things. And that's where the whole fear discussion comes up. Ken is buying into fear. You know?
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of these comments. Your daughter is just an angel.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're fond of her. We think we're going to keep her.
I think that's a great idea. My son is 10 and can, what does this one say? Honestly say
The last 10 years have been full of reminders.
Yeah. She's 9. She'll be 10. And gosh, I cannot believe she'll be 10 and next month. Is that
What is
right?
the advantage to conformity?
What is what?
What is the advantage to
To
conformity?
conforming? I don't
Conformity, I'm asking.
know of one.
What is the
Man.
advantage to societal conformity? Well, I mean, it's such a popular sport. Conformity
Everybody
is a
does it.
popular sport. So
Hey, did you
why?
see
How
what
did it get
was
to be
on the
so
news?
popular?
I know.
Oh,
really-
Leona, my friend out in Yuma, Arizona, says, when I'm with my mom and sisters, we laugh so much. We are our own medicine. Here,
Yeah.
here. Here. Yes.
That's what life's that's honestly, because I've thought about, like, I have a lot of friends that are friends at a distance and some closer, but like you and I, man, we have really become good buds, and I've thought about that, like how in the world did Glenn and I become so good of friends so fast? And you know what I think it is? I think we just laugh, man. Like we laugh.
We laugh, and we also practice mutual transparency.
That too.
And when you have mutual transparency, you're going to be in the 10 items or less line, brother. You're
Yeah.
going to be hauling butt in the diamond lane of life.
Yeah.
When you play games with people, you know what? You wind up stuck in traffic, and I will take it a step further, where you deserve to be.
Yep.
I really believe that. I'm a huge fan of comeuppance. Huge fan of it. So if people are messing with another human being, I don't like when people mess with people. So when you mess with somebody, I'm talking about playing games with their head and especially with their heart. You
Yeah.
start playing games with another human being's heart, and also you're getting them to buy into a misrepresentation of who you are.
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to do. You know, and here's an analogy that I teach with often. It's the guy who, when dating, tells his new partner, be they male or female, whoever it is, but they tell their new partner that when they're talking, they live in different towns, so they can't get together often. And he says, well, Friday is the one day a week I can't get together. And the partner says, that's fine, not a problem. I mean, I'm curious though, what is it you do on Fridays? It's not a big deal, whatever you do. He said, well, that's my banking day. And that's all he ever says. Are you still there, bud?
I'm here.
Oh, well, for some reason, my picture went away. Hold on. Oh, there you are. Just came back. I hit, you know what? And that's a move I learned from you, is the control tab.
Oh, yeah.
Move. So, so the guy just says, I can't get together on Fridays because that's my banking day. And a year later, after the person has fallen in love, this is good, Ken. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
The other partner who was told that I can't get together on Fridays, they've since fallen in love with the person. And then all of a sudden the police come knocking on their door. And you hear the, right?
Yeah.
And yes. And it's police, open up, please. Are you friends of so-and-so? And they name the partner that you're with. Yes. And they want to sit you down for questioning because he's just been caught, because what he does is he robs banks on Fridays. This is classic textbook equivocation, where he sort of told the truth,
Right.
but he told it in a very underplayed and misleading way.
Yeah.
Whereas if he had been upfront and direct and said, look, I don't know if you're going to be interested in this, but I rob banks on Fridays.
Right.
Then that person wouldn't have bought into the relationship. So instead, they deceive and they equivocate and tell a partial truth that it's my banking days, and they allow someone to buy into that. I happen to believe that person will eventually, if not immediately. I believe in karma. I believe in karma with every fiber of my being. And I think the only people who don't believe in karma, this is a strong opinion, but I have one, and they know it makes for good talk show stuff.
Yeah.
At least because I'm willing to be wrong about this. But I think that when people don't believe in karma, Ken, 9 out of 10 times, maybe not 100%, But 9 out of 10 times, the reason they don't believe in karma is because they're only looking at the micro response to the behavior. They're
Right.
only looking at the micro. And in the micro, it's very easy to believe that someone, quote, got away with it. Whatever it is, got away with it. But if you stay tuned, and that's, as a spiritualist, that's what I would tell people is, you think somebody got away with something? Stay tuned. Because if you were to dolly back and look at the entirety of their lives and go to the macro view, indeed, what Scott just said, karma will catch up. Why? Because that's what it does.
But karma is not, you know, and this is something I talk about a lot too. Is
Tell me your
you know-
karma ran over your dogma?
no karma. Yeah, karma is not just bad. Karma flows.
No, of course not.
So being, you know, and I do have to say this, like back when I was single and I was dating, I went out with some girls that must have taken your class or something, because they just vomit all of their garbage all at once. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
You're going to have to explain that to me later tonight, what that has to do with taking my class, but okay.
No, I'm like what you just said. Like they believed so much in being completely transparent about everything.
Oh, I got you.
On the first date, and you know, it's like, hey, wait, can we approach this in a more gradient fashion? So I'm not saying hold everything, like don't be honest. I'm saying there are things in when you're in a relationship, you know,
You're
at some
pace thyself.
pace thyself. Yeah. Not like don't dump like, because everybody's done bad things, everybody's done stupid things, everybody. And
But
anybody
I'm not talking about having done. I'm talking about doing.
okay,
Like
well,
present tense. I rob banks on Fridays.
I get
You might want to tell somebody that they're getting ready to start dating a convict.
right.
I think
Well-
that kind of deception is. Look, I have a friend, and I can't say who it was. I have a friend who got into a relationship. I'm going to even stay out of details. I'm not going to even tell you what the crime was, but got into someone where a crime had been committed, and a crime that carried a huge sentence, and that crime was lingering. It was getting ready to come back and bite them in the butt, and they knew it. And they married the person without divulging that. And 2 short years into the marriage, the foot came down, and there was
Wow.
a knock on the door, and he went to prison.
Wow.
Now, that's messing with someone's heart,
Yeah.
because he knew that the authorities were onto it. They were waiting to build a case,
Yeah.
and the case did get built, and she had no idea. So she thought she was marrying into freedom and a future that is co-created, and
Yeah.
happiness, and designing a life together, followed by a knock on the door that ruined
Yeah.
everything in the moment. Now, she's healed a lot in the last couple of years, but
Right.
can you imagine?
No.
And that's the kind of gamesmanship that I'm talking about, that I just don't think it's fair.
I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that.
I mean, show people who you are and let them stay or leave, and let the chips fall where they may.
Right. Totally agree. But
I love that. I totally agree, but
not on the first date.
no, who said anything about the first date? I'm talking about someone who allowed them to marry them.
Oh, yeah. By then you should probably.
Can you imagine someone who marries somebody and goes, oh, well, now that we're 3 weeks into our marriage, I guess I should probably tell you that I'm gay. Seems like that might have been helpful information on the front side of
Right.
the marriage. There is
Right.
nothing wrong with being gay, but there's a lot wrong with informing your new partner 3 weeks after,
Right.
unless
agree.
it just occurred to you. And the
So-
likelihood that it just occurred to you 3 weeks after your wedding night,
Right.
highly unlikely.
Well, I have to get up early tomorrow to rob this
Right on
bank.
that. Oh, okay. On that topic, it's now the end of the show. Justice is becoming juicy and controversial. And good night, Glenn.
No, man.
What are
I
people saying about this?
I do agree.
Oh, Roxy says you're accepted by the masses when you conform.
Yep.
Well, that's highly overrated.
She's right though. That's why people conform. She was answering your question from earlier.
Yeah. Roxy's a sharp gal.
Some people just don't believe you when you're upfront with them. That's another truth.
Yeah.
Man, this has been fun. We've been on here an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah,
though.
and at no point did we lock and load on any particular topic. You do make a very valid point, though, and I never suggested that karma was only bad. I was talking about the downside of someone pulling that. But indeed, we create great karma, right? Karma is just the counterbalance to whatever the action we're taking is. Whatever action we take, we've got to understand that there is a karmic counterbalance to that.
Yeah.
It's called the cost of doing business in a choice, consequence, cause, and effect world.
Yeah.
We it's just foolish. Just know this. It's foolish to make a choice thinking there won't be a consequence. So if you're going to make a choice, make sure you consider the consequence of the choice before making it, especially if it's a big choice.
You know, I think I always try to think, do I want to be at cause in my life or effect?
Mhm.
Most people are living their life, not most, a lot, huge percentage are living life as effect and not at cause.
Yes, indeed. Do I want to be the pinball or the flipper?
Right. Because
Well,
everybody has the same choice. We all have the same choice.
I don't know that everyone knows they have it, but you're right. I hold the belief that we all have it as well, but you got to have an education, Ken. You got to have a soul's education in order to understand what the machine does. Do you know how many people used to own a VCR and only used it to tell time for years when they were first invented? Do you know how many people owned VCRs and it's like, well, you're going to have to show me how to operate that. Grandma and grandpa would have a VCR and not only could it couldn't even tell time. You know how we knew? Every time we went to their house, it was flashing 12.
Yeah.
Right. So humans are like VCRs. We're only effective if we know how to use them.
Yeah.
And the machinery is rather grandiose and impressive, this human machinery, but you got to buckle down and rent an education and figure out how to best utilize the merchandise. And if you don't, you're going to use it merely to tell time.
This was an incredible opportunity for me to plug Mark Victor Hansen and Crystal Hansen's
book. Yeah. Tell us.
Excuse me. It's a great book. I just started reading it, and it's got me very, very captivated. I love it. It's a great book. So, you should consider getting it, y'all.
Are you deep into it?
Yeah.
Your life is full between reading Ask and watching episodes of 24.
And a lot of work, man.
And trying to do a weekly talk show and a daily talk show.
Well, plus I do work.
And you're a dad and a husband. How many different Ken Walls are there?
There's only one, man. There's only one. Roxy asked, what's the book? It's called Ask. It's on my Facebook page. I posted it yesterday, I think. Ask: The Bridge from Your Dreams to Your Destiny. My buddy Mark Victor Hansen and his wife, Crystal Dwyer Hansen, just released it, and it's an incredible book. They are, Mark was the co-creator of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He's been on here a lot. So, or a few times they were on with us one night. You and I, Glenn.
Yes, Mark Victor Hansen and Crystal both were. I remember it.
Yeah.
That was a good show. We had a good time.
It was great.
I remember he told me to change the title of a piece that I was doing, and I think he thought inaccurately that was the name of a book. I figured it
Right.
out, and I looked back at the show. He thought that was the name of a book. He didn't understand it was a chapter, and it was a chapter I'd talked about for years. But I valued his input. I
Yeah.
valued the fact that he didn't particularly respond to the thing, but I think he was picturing that as a book cover that you would read at a bookstore or whatever. You'd see it online and go, I
Yeah.
don't know about the not so fine 9. That doesn't move me to purchase it. But it actually was a very valid title for a chapter. And I've added 3 more to the list, and I call it the Dirty Dozen. So whenever Mark sees this show, he can let me know what his opinion is. Excuse me, sneeze coming on.
I'll
Or
mute
maybe
you.
I headed it off at the pass. Hold.
I muted him. I muted him.
He's online. I will mute myself, but thank you for doing that. So, yeah. So how deep are you into this book? Or are you just starting it out?
I'm just starting. I'm in the prologue, and I've honestly I've never read a book. The prologue, I am 30 pages into the prologue. That's the prologue.
Wow.
It is. It has a. I don't. What's LIV? Is that 54? Is L
Yes.
50?
Yes.
So it's a 54-page prologue, and then it has the preface. It's insane. It's such a good book, though, man. I mean, it really is. It's a great book.
I hope to God the first chapter is on being verbose. Samuel J. Sneed says, guard your close circle with your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
How beautiful is that?
Leona says, message me your address so I may send you a book my sisters and I had published. It's a Native American story with a great message. It's a short read, great for everyone.
Yeah, Leona's reachable on Facebook. She's a dear, long-term friend of mine.
She is? Okay.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
So I can trust sending her my address.
So go get some sleep. No, you're not going to bed yet. You're going to go watch 24. Go watch 24, my brother. And fasten your seatbelt because it is the best season of the show that we did. Season 5.
Brad,
For those of you playing at home.
I appreciate you coming on tonight. It's been fun.
You bet. I love you dearly. And a week from Sunday, let's do Brad Sham. I'll run that by Scott. And meanwhile, we'll find out tomorrow who our guest is for Sunday evening. But if we don't see you before then.
Go ahead and tell them who we're talking about. Go ahead.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Go
looking
ahead.
to have Larry Wingett on our show, who has written several books, my favorite of which is called Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life. I really, really love that book. I love you, Leona. Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life. And he has been on, if you'd like to preview him, he has been on Ken's show, Breakthrough Walls, that Ken does in the mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. Only, I think it was just a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? Was it about 2 weeks ago?
No, gosh, no. It's been 5 months ago, probably.
Like I said, it was about 5 months ago. Do you like my total reversal of position? So as I was saying, it was about 5 months ago, but that was Ken's version of him alone, and now he's going to be with the three of us. We think it'll be Sunday night, but if not, it'll be a Sunday in the near future.
Larry's
and Scott McCain. Well, he's good old Oklahoma boy, and Oklahoma has been known to have its opinions about folks and life and so forth. But he is Scott McCain's dear friend.
Yes.
So Scott's bringing him on as a longtime best friend of his. So
well, we gotta confirm it still, but yeah, that's the goal.
So if we don't see you before then, guys, please stay tuned at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday evening for the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott.
Yes.
And, we value your time because that is the one gift that you'll never get a refund for. So thank you for spending the gift of your time with us whenever we go on live. Thanks so much.
Oh, dude, before we go, I forgot I have a new version of our intro video and outro video. You want to see it?
Watch this. Hold on. Everyone drop a 1 if you would like to see that right now. If you would, I'm doing it the way Ken would. Drop a 1 in the comment section if you'd like to see Ken's new lead in to our show.
Yeah, you and Scott have not even seen this. I made one.
Did everybody go home? Has anyone dropped a 1 yet? There it is.
everybody's dropping ones. Dude, I made one little change. I want to see if you recognize the change. So stay on here. Don't hang up.
Ralph dropped a 1.5. Did you see that?
Yeah, I see it. I'm not sure what that means.
I love you, brother Ralph. That's funny. Hey,
All
Ralph,
right.
you and I have a craps date, man, whenever it comes back.
You ready?
Sure. Oh, my friend Linda's watching tonight. I didn't realize, from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Hey, Linda.
Yeah, go ahead. And Pamela's going nuts with 11111111111.
Julianne said one, like one that
Juliana
poker-
Briscoe, she's my sweetheart for many years right here in Dallas.
Love it.
Part of the Extra Mile for a long, long, long time. Corey Calvin, 111111.
Ready? Here we go.
Do
Here
it.
we go.
So, Ken, they don't pay me the big bucks for nothing. I noticed it instantly. You want me to
What?
say what the change is?
What?
The fact that you colorized our photos.
Nope.
Oh, come on. Those were black and white before.
It's not the change, dude. You want to see it again?
Did you wait a minute? Did you make your name?
very
Wait a minute.
end.
Wait a minute. Did you make your name larger than mine?
No. Oh my God. Well, thanks for stopping by, Glenn.
You have done that to me about 38 times, and every time I act like it's the first and I laugh my butt off, and I don't know why. It's really not that funny.
I can't believe
Okay, tell us. All right, let me watch it again. It's toward the
What?
end.
Ernest got it.
Oh, that's what it is.
Watch. One more
Well,
time.
don't make
And
them watch the whole thing.
It's only 28 seconds. Just watch.
Oh, I wasn't even looking by that point.
And he goes,
Yes.
he puts the last T, he goes, he makes a sound. Then he goes, oh, he makes a little, and then the ding at the end. Brilliant.
You know my favorite part of this is the fact that you didn't check with your partners to see if we liked the idea. I think that might be my favorite part of it. Is let me just make this change and throw it on the airwaves. And good luck, guys. I hope you like it.
Oh my God.
It reminds me of the year. It reminds me of the year that Carolyn asked me, "Hey, sweetie, what would you think about us having a bird?" Did I ever tell you this, Ken? I want you to ask me this question. You're going to pretend to be Carolyn, okay? She called me from her. I was out of town on a visit, and I was just at the airport coming back in, and she goes, "Hey, what would you think about us having a bird?" So you ask me that question. You'll be Carolyn. Go ahead. Now I'm going to answer not only the way I answered, but at the speed I answered. Go ahead.
Okay, ready? Hey, sweetie, what would you think about us having a bird?
No. I said no instantly. And I got home and we had a bird
Oh no.
because she had already purchased the bird
Oh,
and then
Lord.
chose to ask me what I would think about it
After
if something very wrong with that approach.
Hey, Scott, thank you, Scott. I appreciate you seeing the creative genius in that. Unlike some people that will go unnamed at the
Oh,
moment.
Roxy said that you own 51%, so it's okay. That's funny. No, I like it. It's clever. Was that your idea, or did our editor call up and say it?
no, it was my idea. He did the went like I just made the mistake of adding that third T.
Yeah, I got it. Like, oops.
Yeah, that
I
sound
didn't mean
effect.
to- It's the I didn't mean to do that sound.
Right.
How
And
much
then
did
he
he charge you for that sound?
Huh?
Would it be funny if he goes, the extra $10 was for me going on the editor's fee? That's $10.
$10.
Watch this. That's 20. That's
He just said $10. Y'all can tell who's paying the bill too, huh? I'm just kidding.
Linda.
Anyway,
Great. No,
that-
other people's birds are great.
huh?
Other people's birds are great.
So how long did you have I mean, birds live like a long time. Certain ones,
Yeah.
like they go in most people's will.
If you don't accidentally throw a wet towel on them, they live long.
What? Are you admitting you killed a bird?
Good night, buddy. It's great having you. It's great
Ah.
having you here tonight. No, I didn't kill the bird. I
had a parrot in Pittsburgh when I lived in Pittsburgh, and I used to take this parrot. I'd go to Hooters at Station Square. I'd take the train to Hooters because I love their wings. I was single, but I would take my parrot on my shoulder. I had to put a towel on my shoulder, and I would ride the train. My drunk ass. I'd ride the train down from where I lived in Dormont down to Station Square, and his name was Buddy, and he was a miniature macaw, right? And so he went everywhere with me, and we would go into Hooters, and they loved Buddy.
How did you and I ever become friends?
I don't know.
Before we go, seriously, I got to tell you about my bird. I had this parrot from Pittsburgh.
I did. So Pam says, I know you didn't just say you love their wings. I do. I love Hooters wings.
No, she meant parrot wings.
Oh, jeez.
I love his wings, man. I had a parrot from Pittsburgh. I loved his wings. They taste just like chicken.
So I actually, and when I left the company that I was working with, I got a phone call from the guy I worked for, and he's now a judge here locally in Columbus. But I got a call from him. He goes, dude, you were the manager of my office. And I said, yeah. And he goes, you had a bird in the office? I go, well, he's a parrot. He's not really a bird. I mean, he talks, dude. He goes, well, your parrot shit all over my rug.
No, what he should have said is, well, apparently your bird crapped all over the place.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, let's go let you watch the show. I'm going to go
All right,
and chill and watch a little late night TV and then take a walk. But do me a favor, text me later and drop a 1. Drop a 1 when you text me if you're having a blast watching season 5.
I will.
Okay.
I will. Oh, I
Love you
will.
guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, don't hang up yet, dude.
All right.
I'm going to tell everybody bye. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. See you later. Glenn apparently needs to go. So
Thank you all.